Thank you for being here. Just clearing our space. Gonna give it a moment or two, see if any friends want to hop on with us. I just recorded about a 35-minute message or a weekly update for the Patreon community members only, and I still have all my decks out, so I wanted to tap in. Just get a little message here for the YouTube community, so if you're just tuning in, you could say hello. You could let us know where you're tuning in from. Share with us how you're feeling in these energies. Maybe you have something you feel called to share with us, something insightful, inspirational. Maybe you learned something this last week that you would like to share with the rest of us. I do love this group chat, this community chat feature. It provides a safe space for us to share. For those of us that maybe don't have a big community of like-minded individuals in your physical experience at the moment. So with that, and as always, if you're wanting some personal guidance, wanting a personal reading, wanting to work with me one-on-one, drop a comment, let me know, reach out. Also, if you would like access to the Patreon community, a private community to share your thoughts, to feel safe to share, learn, expand, all of the things. Link for the Patreon community will be in the pinned comments below, as well as the description box. You can find that link all over. You get access to my most recent message, plus all of my previous content. So let's just see here. Let's just tap in and see what we can know. What can I tell the beautiful collective tuned in? Got some sunshine here. Got some farm equipment in the field here out the window. So hopefully things won't get too noisy for us here. Yeah, Two of Wands. Love to see it stepping into the new. This is new energy. This is creation energy. Also, whenever I see this, I think of like initiation energy, stepping through the corridor from one aspect, one version of ourselves into the next. Four of Wands, celebration, union, connection, community. This is manifestation energy. You know, we've done the shadow work. We've healed the things over the last several months, years, decades for some of y'all, maybe depending on how long you've been on this journey, right? This is a big collective, so it will speak to each of us in individual, unique ways. But also remembering, understanding that at the highest level, at the deepest level, we're all the same, right? Oneness is our true nature. The thread that connects us, you know, we are all extensions of the one source, and while we have our unique individual differences, we're here to create different things, right? We all have our piece of the pie, part of the quilt. They will all fit together beautifully here. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, because that's by divine design as well. So understanding that no one can take what is meant for you, right? We can release that competition energy. That's what allows us to step forward into the new here, safely, confidently, securely, that Two of Wands energy. What more can we know? Yeah, exactly. The Emperor, because we understand this is that self-mastery. We understand, you know, that we are the creator of our own reality. You know, we aren't solely responsible. We are, again, extensions of the one source. We are in cahoots at all times with our creator, our source, but free will, we do have choice. We are here. This came through in Patreon. I share a bit of my channeled messages, reflection journaling, typically before I tap into the cards. And we are the human mind. We are the mouthpiece of the divine. We are the mouthpiece of God. And so being aware of our true nature, our true essence, our divine attributes, and living from that space more and more. This is how we protect the egg, Queen of Swords energy, that creation energy. This is how we call back our energy from places and spaces that no longer serve us. Maybe they never did, but we're just becoming aware of it, right? Energy is currency. The New Earth, Two of Wands, New Earth energy is where we give our attention, our focus, our energy. Where energy goes, attention flows. And so if you don't like what you're seeing, something that's playing out, stop feeding it with your life force energy. You know, for what we resist persists. And so rather than push against these destructive systems, fight against them, that's still continuing to give them power, what we do instead is we focus on creating something different, right? We've lived through that. We know we don't want that. Okay, about face, right? Or turn. I've never even said that expression, but I'm gonna have to Google that now. I feel like it means to do a complete 180, and rather than focus on watching what's crumbling, you know, and giving our energy and life force to that. What would you like to see instead? What would you like to create? Being the change we hope to see, right? We can't see the way forward yet, but we can trust what we are sensing and feeling. We can trust the work we have done. We can trust this feeling. Nine of Cups energy of inner fulfillment. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for the love. Thank you for being here, friend. If you are just tuning in and you're hoping to receive a message for yourself that makes sense for your own life situation scenario, you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, you can drop a comment below, you could share the video, you could just make your question intention known energetically. These are all ways for you to contribute your energy, join the wave here, if you will, give your energetic consent. And I shuffled and shuffled, and again, we have this Two of Wands energy. Inner source, the sun, stepping forward confidently, bravely into the new. And 10 of Pentacles was peeking. Beautiful. I love that. I don't currently have Braille readings, but that's something to look into. I've never reflected on that before. 10 of Pentacles here. Yeah, we know what success feels like because we are inner source. Here's the Chariot, fast moving energy. And again, with the Emperor here. We understand the assignment. We know who we are now. We understand what is our job, what is in our control, and what isn't. And so we be sure that we are in alignment, that we are emanating and reflecting this energy of joy, bliss, love, happiness, compassion, forgiveness. It doesn't mean we don't have down moments, right? It doesn't mean, we don't still have this human experience. It means when we are feeling low emotions, we know what to do with them, not to project them outward. We know it's an inside job. We alchemize, we transmute, right? We transform, we use, all energy can be used for good, like the message that came through last week. Anything else we need to know here? Yeah, exactly. Staying in integrity, staying in our own lane. You do you, you release control of another, you release control of outer circumstances, that it can be real easy to feel powerless, right? Like most of us feel like we can't just immediately, get on a plane and go over to where we feel like the most destruction is. And even when we got there, what would we do? Would we go up and talk to a certain person? What would we say, right? But what we can do is control our inner narrative, control our inner world, heal our own shadows, recognize that we all have the potential for darkness, and then do the inner work so we are not causing harm to others, to the planet, to sentient beings, to ourselves, understanding that to harm ourselves is also to harm another. Yeah, and that's the best work we can do, because an elevation of consciousness, which is what is happening on the planet, an elevation of consciousness within all of us, that is what is going to shift the trajectory. That is the change we seek. Once you reach this certain level of consciousness, you can't even fathom harming another. Yeah. Avoiding drama. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is having an awareness of what's playing out, and also understanding our role here to create the new. Trusting synchronicity, trusting our intuition, following the signs, that Two of Swords energy, following those nudges long before we can see the results of it in the physical, trusting in ourselves and trusting in life. I'm going to get us one affirmation here, but I want to use a different deck, actually. This is from The Universe Has Your Back. Gabby Bernstein's deck. I'll leave us with one affirmation here. And if, again, as always, if you're needing something from me, please reach out. If you want to be notified when I go live again, be sure and subscribe to the channel. Hello, hello. And thank you for being here. Know that your healing, your contribution to the collective does matter. Each one of us shifts ourselves, helps to shift the whole. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. Love that. And there was one sitting here. Yeah. There is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. Being true to ourselves, that individuality. We understand oneness is our true nature, but we also understand we are all unique individuals. The higher you go up, rise in consciousness, the more you raise your consciousness, however you want to say that, you understand more and more that it's one big paradox, right? Like, we aren't in control, and yet we are absolutely in control and responsible for ourselves, right? And just that multidimensionality energy, we can hold grief and sorrow. We can understand that, nothing truly matters, and yet everything matters, that we are everything and we are nothing simultaneously. It's like the more I know, the more I understand, the more I realize how much I don't know, because the more we learn, the more we realize there is so much more to learn. There's so much more beyond what we have been able to fathom with our human mind. And this is what we are stepping into. So it's exciting. It can feel like chaos. It can feel just overwhelming at times. That overwhelming energy is always a reminder, the faster things seem to be moving in your external, it seems again like one big paradox, but go within to slow it down, to, return to center, to return to your power, to return to that divine connection and communion that's always there. Sometimes we forget when we get so busy with the hustle and bustle of our human experience. So maybe you just needed that reminder. I'm sending so much love. Wishing you a beautiful week. See you all next time.